Hi everybody. Sorry for the delay on this one. Actually recording this one on a different camera. Unfortunately, in my fun in Hawaii and videotaping some turtles out in the water, I managed to get some water in my Garmin. Don't tell them that. Hopefully I can get a new one from them. But that one's not working, so I've dug this one up and we'll do what should be my last race report of the year here for the big dog, the Ironman World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. So had a great day, great trip, and it was fantastic. We left my son at home, which was challenging, and it was the longest we had been away from him, but with baby number 2 on the way in February, we decided that it would be a great chance for us to really get away and have a nice time together. So we flew out on Friday night, a little over a week before the race, and got there. So we were there basically a full week before the race, which was the furthest I've been out there in my that was my 3rd trip to Kona. And I think that was really helpful. We were able to get there and relax and get acclimated a bit. And with a 6-hour time change, it definitely throws you off a bit. So that was great. And we had a lot of fun all week. Really took it very easy. Took a nap every day, and we did some snorkeling. As I mentioned, got some beautiful footage of some turtles and things like that. Hopefully I'll be able to dig that up from the broken camera, but we'll see. Had a lot of fun at the expo, met some people, had some good opportunities and people I talked to and everything, and it was just a great week leading up to the race, and body was feeling pretty good and hungry and ready to go. So that leads us to the race. So I guess actually I'll start by thanking my friend Roger Little, who was competing in his 16th or 17th Kona Ironman World Championships, and he had a place right in the King K host hotel, and he let us hang out at his room after we had got our transition set up. So we had a bathroom right there, and it was pretty sweet. He has one of the best. You could overview the swim, and he let people go up there, and it was pretty cool. But for the swim itself, it was pretty choppy. So I did my best to stay relaxed out there. Got whacked a couple times pretty good, and had to flip over and fix the goggles. But really, truthfully looking back at it, I think I was a little bit too relaxed in the swim. It was choppy and it was definitely slow for everybody. Came out of the water in 106, which is not my slowest swim in Kona, but one of the slower than last year, and I was really hoping to be more in that like 102, 103 range, so significantly slower than I wanted to be. But in reality, you have a 9.5-hour day, 3 minutes isn't going to make or break me. So, I came out of the water positive, had a good transition, managed to get my swim skin off during transition, so that's a plus, unlike last year. And got out on the bike and pushed the watts a touch in town, try and see if I could work myself up a little bit and catch up a little bit of the ground that I'd lost during the swim, to see if I could get some other riders to work with and get into a good groove on the bike. And stayed really disciplined. Didn't get too crazy there, and got into a good groove as we headed out of town onto the Queen K, excuse me. And that's where the fun begins. And so it was certainly already starting to get warm, but we had mainly a tailwind on the way out for the first probably 20, 25 miles, maybe a little bit further, and then all of a sudden, it just, woof, there was a huge shift, so no turns. It's ultimately the bike course is an out and back, and all of a sudden I went from averaging a little over 23 miles an hour to somewhere in the 15 mile an hour range at the same power output. So it was challenging, and mentally that's where you got to really stay strong. Just keep your head down, stay aero, and keep going through, and don't worry about your pace, and just keep that steady power output. So I did that, and headed out, got through, went all the way up to the turnaround. So even leading up to the turnaround is kind of the hilly section, and the winds are always pretty strong up there. So my average creeped down significantly from where I was from the beginning of the race, but again, didn't let it phase me. I was making sure my heart rate wasn't going crazy and was actually slowly declining and maintaining the same power output, so I was feeling really good about that. And I was right about 240 watts average for the first half of the bike, and it was right where I wanted to be. So my goal ultimately was to be at average 250 watts, normalized. So I actually don't look at my normalized when I'm out there, but was focused on my power for sure, and got some pretty good tailwinds on the way back, and was able to work with some riders. Didn't really stick with anybody for too long, but did work with riders during the race, and it was good to see a bunch of people got penalties and things like that. So there was one time that a pack did pass me, and a marshal came up right after that, and I think he nailed like 7 or 8 guys all at once, which I was really happy to see. It's nice that they're not just picking one person out of a huge crowd that I've seen happen in the past. So yeah, that was good. And then it was probably my funnest part of the race, or most enjoyable, was when I did get back to that section where that strong headwind was on the way out. We got that tailwind on the way back, and I was still spinning, but I was trying to spin. I was spinning out basically and doing 40 miles an hour, no problem. And we got the held that for a couple miles, and that was a lot of fun. And definitely the average picked up on the way back, and felt really good coming into town. I picked it up, and there was a bit of a headwind as we headed back into town, but I was able to maintain my power output and maybe even pick it up a little bit towards the end, and definitely was passing people towards the end, and ended up with a 5:05, almost flat, 5:05:01 bike split, so just over 22 mile an hour average, which was, I think, 4 seconds off what I did the year before. So the winds were definitely more challenging this year, so to match my bike split from last year was definitely a good indicator that I had improved on the bike, definitely. So I ended up normalized, was 250 or 251, I think, and my average was right at 240 for watts, so that was good, and felt strong heading in off the bike. Got out there on the run, and was really actually focused primarily on my heart rate. With the heat there, I knew that it was going to be important that I keep myself in check. So certainly had some pacing in mind, but want to be sure that I didn't go out too hard. So I did actually break that, or went a little bit too fast on the first mile. I was at like 650 or something like that, and I wanted to be right around 7 to 7:10. So, but I did was able to get into a good groove after that, and pretty much everything from mile 2 to mile 18 was within 20 seconds, but all pretty much right around the 7:10 range, which is what I was shooting for. People can check this out on Strava if they want to. I felt really good all day out on the Alehi Drive there. Was really playing off the crowd. You get some great crowd support there, and it's beautiful. You got the water to your side, and I wish that they switched the way the run course worked, where you did the first 16 miles, the last 16 miles first, and then the last 10 would be the first 10, because it's much more beautiful and motivating within town, and you've got spectators there. But I think there's a reason they do it the other way. So I headed up and ran up the Palani Hill, ran up the whole thing, and let my heart rate elevate a little bit there, but you got a little bit of a descent after that, so I was able to get right back in, and things were going fantastic. I was sticking to the nutrition plan, and things were going really well there. That's where ultimately I think I made my mistake. I stopped, didn't take in any more gels from that point on, actually, and wasn't taking in my Cliff Blocks as often as I had planned. So I felt good and was passing a lot of people, and got to the Energy Labs, and think I also there made a little bit of mistake. That's right around mile 16, so I had like 10 to go, and I felt like I could pick it up a little bit there, and it caught up with me a little bit. So right about mile 20, I got a bit of a side stitch, and I had to slow down a little bit, and I had to walk a little bit to try and work that side stitch out. I also increased, my cliff block intake a little bit to try and see if I could recover myself. I hadn't taken any Coke at that point. I did at that next aid station take some Coke, and ultimately the whole run after the first few miles, was doing everything I could to try and stay cool, and I was pouring everything over myself, and I actually ran with a little bit of a rag thing coming down and covering the back of my neck this year, which I think helped, and but it's hot out there, and it finally can catch up with you. So I kept on pushing, and I was definitely disappointed to have to walk a little bit, but and so miles 20 through 22, I was at 8:03, 8:04, and 8:18 pace, which was definitely not what I was looking for. But luckily, I was able to rebound from there, and I was able to work through that side stitch, and knew that if I worked it here, that I could go sub 9:30 at least. Still hoping for sub 9:25, but kept on pushing, and it's just, I can't express how challenging it is out there. You really have got just your fellow competitors for the most part, and the heat just baking down on you, the sun, and it's tough. You're getting close, but it still just really grinds on you. So but I did rebound, like I said, and so I started picking it back up by mile 24, and actually mile 26 I got a 6:33 mile. It does have the Polani downhill in it, so that probably didn't hurt, but I picked it up, and I finished strong, and I was happy about that. Ended up with a cadence at 88, which was right about where I want to be, 88 to 90, so I will take it, and ended up with a total time of 9:27:41. So that is a new Kona PR by about 10 minutes from last year, in, again, much more challenging conditions. So I was really happy with it. And so I ended up 123rd overall, 22nd in my age group, and then I was the 11th amateur American, 3rd American amateur in my age group, which was significant improvements off of from last year, and I'm pretty proud of that, and happy with how I did, and it was an amazing way to recap an amazing year, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, and well, I definitely didn't feel too hot after the race, but came around relatively quickly, and it was fun seeing my friend Amber Ferreira's professional race as a pro the first time this year, and then of course my buddy Elliot was out there with me as well, and we got to hung out with both of them prior to the race and after, and it was good. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything from Hawaii. We headed out a couple days after the race, and it was back to reality and the tough jet lag that hits you coming back, but it was well worth it, and I would have to say my favorite of my 3 trips to Hawaii. Not really primarily because of the race, just we had a lot of fun, and it was a good trip, and yeah, so want to quickly thank all my sponsors and everybody that supported me, and this time, I don't know why I shouldn't have started every one of my thank yous with this, but I want to particularly say thank you to my wife Kristen and my son Calvin for all their support and the amazing sacrifices that they make for me to be successful and do the things that I do. Obviously I make some sacrifices and try and get up as early as possible to get things in so it doesn't take out of family time, but with my coaching and my training and things, there's no doubt that it takes out some of my family time, and Kristen is amazingly understanding and helps out so much to allow me to do this, and I love her very much, and I appreciate it. And Calvin is great, and we look forward to having our new edition come here in February. So that will be a focus for sure early next year, but still planning to go after it next year, and we'll plan to do no Kona next year, but full Ironman Maryland in October. So thank you, my dear, and also my parents and my family and everything, and everybody that supports me. I can't express enough how much I appreciate all that you do, and the appreciation for you guys looking out for me and giving me the praise and things. So, but to my official sponsors, Blue 70, great wetsuits. Really happy with everything that they do, and they're a great company with great products. Definitely worth considering. Sipo, my new bike this year, just absolutely fantastic. They took extremely good care of me. I had a couple issues along the way, and they stepped up right away, and it's just a fantastic, super stiff bike, and I am really happy to be on their bike and appreciate all their support. That being said, the next person I'll thank is Jack from the Velo Resource. He is, really one of a kind and just so helpful, and doesn't overlook any little detail, and it's more than just a business to him. He's there to help his customers and make sure that they're getting the best out of everything. So thank you very much, as always, Jack. Let's see here. We've got Smart Wind Tunnel, Armand. Very insightful, and glad I rode my road helmet this year in Kona, thanks to the testing that we did this past session a month or two ago now. And thank you, Armand. And Trisports, trisports.com, amazing online triathlon store over in Tucson. Great products there, and have some discounts with them if anybody's interested. Very big thank you to my coach, Kurt Perham. Kurt, I learn from you all the time, and I appreciate everything you've done for me, and looking forward to continuing to get faster with your help. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much to Dine, my full-time job. They are extremely supportive and understanding of my crazy lifestyle, and it's a great company to work for, and I love being there. So thank you very much for all your support. Thank you very much to Leslie Y. Leslie, I think, as I've told you, some of the big improvements I've made this year, I think, are because of you, and the suggestions and changes we made to my diet and my fueling plan. So I thank you very much, and look forward to continuing to tweak things and get help from you on that. So Alyssa Bedard, my masseuse here, she is incredible. I found her back early this year. I've certainly known her and used her before, but really when my hip issue arose after some stroller runs with my son, and ultimately I thought my season may have been ended before it started this year, she really, I think, was the big difference that got me back healthy, and regular treatment with her has been huge. So if you're in the Nashua, Manchester area, I highly recommend that you give Alyssa Bedard a shot for massage. It's extremely important for all triathletes and athletes, just to make sure that you stay healthy and take care of your body. Let's see, Brett Copeland, also helping with that, Performance Health up in Concord, New Hampshire. He and Alyssa 1-2 punch there that helped me get through my hip injury there, and it's an ongoing battle for me, but they really helped me keep it in check. So thank you, Brett. I got your mug for you, actually right behind the camera here, so I'll give that to you. Rudy Project, really appreciate the support you've given me. And last but by no means least, I want to thank everybody that's listening now, and the Peak Triathlon coaching clients and Northeast Multisporters. I really I think of my family and I think of you guys when I'm out on the course and I'm hurting and I need that extra little push. You guys really motivate me, and it's amazing to be part of your guys' lives and involved with the sport. And I love triathlon and the multi-sport lifestyle, but it's really the people that keep me coming back. And it's just thanks so much for being a part of it. And I look forward to continuing that. And I think that's just about it. So thanks again for listening or watching here. Hopefully I didn't get too long on this one, but obviously with the last one I had to extend it a little bit. But thanks again. Can't wait to have another successful season next year. We'll see how things change with two children, but I'm excited about that, and should be great. So thanks again, everyone. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.